Hey there, this is Krisha Anand, and welcome back to my channel on how to analyze research papers. In the past few videos, I've been looking at how to analyze an abstract, but a lot of people do also argue that you should in fact start with reading the introduction instead of the abstract, and that you should read the abstract last. So I thought we could take a look at how to look at an introduction first, standalone, for a particular scientific paper, which I will be breaking up into 2 videos. And hopefully this way you can get a better understanding of which method works for you best. Now before we dive into this video, subscribe to my channel for notifications on all my future videos. And if you enjoy the series, please give this video a like. So continuing the analysis of the introduction from last time, we left off on starting this paragraph. So this tells us that a meta-analysis of 9 studies evaluated the clinical effectiveness of BCI-based rehabilitation of patients with post-stroke hemiparesis and hemiplegia and concluded that BCI technology could be effective compared to conventional treatment. Essentially, hemiparesis and hemiplegia are the same thing, and they refer to muscle weakness and paralysis on one side of the body. They go on to say that this included ischemic and hemorrhagic stroke in both subacute and chronic stages of stroke between 2 to 8 weeks. The difference between ischemic and hemorrhagic stroke is that ischemic refers to a blockage of blood going to the brain, and hemorrhagic stroke refers to bleeding within the brain. But they are both different types of strokes. Moreover, there is evidence that BCI-based rehabilitation promotes long-lasting improvements in motor function of chronic stroke patients with severe paresis, while overall BCIs are starting to prove their efficacy as rehabilitative technologies in patients with severe motor impairments. So, essentially looking at this paragraph as a whole, what this is telling us is that it's going over the data collection strategies and results for this experiment, and rather for past experiments, and it's telling us that BCI-based rehabilitation is shown to be effective in post-stroke patients with partial paralysis because there is less of a need to move in BCI-based rehabilitation. So if a person has severe motor impairments and therefore cannot use, say, like VR-based technologies that they were discussing earlier on, then it's okay because they still have a way to train their brain and to reestablish neural connections that can help them to overcome their impairments. So now going on to the next paragraph here, take a minute to read through it, and then we'll go through the paragraph together. So what they're saying here is that there are many different feedback modalities or methods that are used for BCI motor rehabilitation, and then they go on to list many of these methods. For example, embodied avatar representation, augmented reality, robotic exoskeletal orthotic movement, like we were talking about before with the robotic arms in the previous video if you want to check that out first. In addition, it has been shown that multimodal feedback led to significantly better performance in motor imagery. Essentially, using multiple of these methods resulted in better rehabilitation results, but they don't yet know if a certain modality is more effective than another one. But they do say that like using them in combination will yield better results. I think there were some problems with wording in the last 2 sentences, but that is anyway what I got from this paragraph. And yeah, then take a second to read through the last paragraph. You can pause the video here again, and then we'll go over that. So far in the introduction, what they've been discussing is past data that has already been available at the point that the study was done on BCI VR systems and in BCI systems in general. And now in this last paragraph, they really introduce what this particular study is going to be discussing. So they say that taking into account all these previous findings that they have listed above in the introduction, this particular study is going to be looking at post-stroke upper limb motor dysfunction in the Neuro BCI VR system. And they say that they chose this one because it provides an immersive VR environment that uses the avatar representation modality that they listed above. And this can reinforce activation of motor brain areas, again, as was shown in a previous paragraph. Where is it? Up here, through action observation. And they say in the last few sentences that the target of the system is to be used by patients with low or no levels of motor control. Essentially, for example, if you have a post-chronic stroke patient who has severe paralysis and really doesn't have a lot of motor function, then this particular BCI VR system might be much more effective for rehabilitation treatment than a current VR tool might be. So with this BCI VR approach, severe cases of stroke survivors may be admitted to a VR rehabilitation program, yielding much better results than traditional types of rehabilitation. So I hope you were able to learn something new from these videos and that you enjoyed the series. And as I said before, please subscribe to this channel to get notifications on my future videos, and give this a like if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, stay curious.